for you. So I am right now just balancing on my feet. This is a very good practice in and of itself. So if you want to stop here, it's great. You can bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, pressed at the heart center, and just work on your balance. It's also a good stretch for the feet. If you'd like to take it a step further, you can twist your body. We're trying to get our elbows to align with our hip at the back and our knee at the front. Hard to do while talking, but I'll give it a chance. Here we go. So twisting, make contact with those elbows touching my leg and planting my hands down on my mat. So my body is leaning onto those elbows. And with any arm balance, an important thing to remember is that your hands are going to be taking the weight of your body. And for some people that can give them a little bit of pain in their wrist. Important to remember to press down through the index knuckle and make sure your fingertips are gripping the mat. Some people also say you can feel a little bit of space in the palm of your hand, and it's a bit of a suction cup feeling. So make sure your hands are gripped nicely. You feel your body pressed onto those elbows. This might be where you stop for today. It's a great twist, and you can stay there. If you would like to explore it a little further, you just press your body further until you can feel yourself beginning to balance. Your feet will eventually float off the ground. You don't have to pop up. They will just float there for you. And then come down when you're ready. Another great thing when you're at home and working on your practice is some people have shared with me that the only thing holding them back from being able to do a pose like that is fear. So you can do something simple like grab a pillow, place it right where your head would land if you happen to fall over, and I'll demonstrate because really you're only a few inches away from the ground. There's very little chance that you're going to hurt yourself by falling over like this. There we go. So with the yoga, we want to make sure that we're always staying balanced. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Gives us a chance to work on our balance again. And then twisting, making sure that we get our elbows connected with the outside of our legs. One by the hip, one by the knee. Planting your hands down, making sure the hands are firmly gripping the mat. Then making sure to feel the weight of your body on your elbows and begin to angle. And only when you feel like you've got your balance, let your feet lift off. You can hold these balance and challenge poses for as long as you can, or you can just stay in them for a moment or two and then come back to a resting position. So, one great thing after a challenge pose is if you manage to get a challenge pose that you've been working on for a while, most people get very excited and often will jump up and not realize that they're a little lightheaded. So it's always a very good idea to finish a challenge pose in child's pose. So let's take child's pose again. This time I'm going to sink my hips down onto my heels, wrap my body over top of my legs, and then curl my arms around, and I will be a tiny little ball, feeling the air coming in and out of my body, feeling the back of my body expanding as I breathe. You can stay in your child's pose, continue breathing. Pressing up and out of your child's pose when you're ready. Bringing everything back down. Don't worry that these energizing poses will sustain the energy throughout the day. I also wanted to work on a twist that is energizing. And I'll face the camera so you can see how I'm aligning my body. I'm going to extend my left leg out in front of me, and I'm going to take my right leg so that it's bent at the knee, and the right foot is on the floor right next to my left knee. Then I'll pick it up and put it to the other side of my left knee, and I'll twist and bring my left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and really plant my right hand down behind my hip and give a good twist looking away over my shoulder. This twist is great for aiding in digestion. It is also an energizing pose. Unwrapping yourself, take your elbow out from behind your knee, guide your right leg forward, bring your left leg in so that it's a bent knee and the left foot is on the floor next to the right knee. The right foot is flexed so the toes are up toward the ceiling. Bring the left foot on the outside of the right knee. And now we're going to take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Plant the left hand down behind the hip and twist and look away. Keeping a nice tall spine, really focusing on the feeling of the breath coming in and out of the body. We'll begin unfolding. Take your elbow off of the knee, guide the leg forward, sitting up with a nice tall spine. We're going to be working on something called cow-faced pose, and it's a little complicated to describe, so if you have the benefit of seeing the screen, it will help. You want to start with your right leg bent so that your right foot is tucked in toward your left hip. And then we're going to place the left knee on top and bend it so that the left foot is coming toward the right hip. We want to have a nice tall spine, and then we're going to incorporate our arms. I'm going to stop for a moment just so I can turn around and show you the arm movement. And the arms can be, we'll start with the arm, right arm straight up in the air, bent at the elbow. And then the left arm coming around the back and connecting. If they don't reach, you can drape a belt or a tie over your shoulder and connect. I do have a prop close at hand. I'll see if I can reach it. I had meant to remind you to have them close at hand, but I forgot. So here is my strap. A regular tie or belt will work, but you do want something that doesn't have any give to it, so not one of the stretchy bands that can be used in workouts. So I'll just demonstrate how it can be used. If you can't reach your fingertips together, you drape it over top of your shoulder. And again, we'll bring the arm up and bend it at the elbow, and then hold on to the strap. Bring the other one around the back and grab the strap, and you can begin to work your fingers together to bring them as close as you can. Now, turning around, I want to share that you can see that I'm still trying to keep a strong, tall back and a straight neck. I see a lot of scrunching. That's not good for your neck, so please keep that arm open, keep the neck nice and straight. So I'll bring the two together now. So I had guided you with the right leg in and the left leg over top. When that is the case, we want to take the right arm up into the air, bend it at the elbow, left arm behind, connect the two behind your back. Now we're in the full expression of cow face pose. Let's take a nice deep set of breaths. You can begin to release your arms down to your sides. We're going to guide the legs apart. Put the left leg on the bottom, tuck the left foot in toward the right hip, bring the right knee on top, bringing the right foot over toward the left hip. If you're using a strap, switch sides and bring it over to your right shoulder. And bring your left arm up into the air, bend it at the elbow, holding onto the strap, take the right arm in behind and walk the hands together, keeping a nice tall spine, straight neck. Begin to release your fingers from the strap. Bring your hands down to your side. You can move your strap out of the way and gently guide your legs apart. We're going to be making room to lie back on our back. So you want to bring your hips in as close to your heels as you can with your knees bent, your feet planted on the floor, and then allow yourself to lie back on the mat. You want your arms stretched out on the mat with your fingertips pointing towards your feet. And if you can bring your feet in a little bit closer towards your hips. You want to make sure to press your spine into the mat. So normally there's a little space in your lower back, in the curve of your spine. Press that into the mat and then lift your hips up into the air. When your hips are up in the air, you want to focus on making sure you're pressing up with the hips and that your glutes are engaged but not clenched. With this space that you've created underneath your back, you can clasp your hands together. And from there, if it's available to you, with your feet firmly planted, shimmy your shoulder blades together and see if you can create a wider arch in your back. Again, we're still pressing up through the hips. We're keeping our knees close together, not letting them splay out toward the sides. And then, very importantly, see if you can relax, especially your throat, and focus on your breath. This is your bridge pose. You can continue to hold your bridge pose just like this, or if you would like it to be a little more challenging, you can take one leg up into the air. Again, remembering to keep the hips up and high. Lowering down and taking the opposite foot up into the air. And lowering down. Make sure your feet are firmly planted on the mat. Release your fingertips and shimmy your shoulder blades apart. Allow yourself to bring the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Take your arms out to a T. Put a little space in between your feet and then let your knees lower down one side at a time, like a windshield wiper, neutralizing your spine. Bring your knees into your chest and wrap your arms around your knees. You can rock side to side. It can be a subtle movement, or it can be all the way down on one side and all the way down on the other. It's just about seeing what feels good in your body. This is a way of gently massaging the back, the hips. To use tension and release to prepare your body for a moment of Shavasana, just squeeze the legs really tight, flex the feet, bring the head and shoulders up off the mat, and then release and let everything down to the mat. Preparing for Shavasana. Shavasana is your final resting pose. You want to completely relax your body and focus your mind. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana today, so stay where you are, and I'll help guide you into Shavasana. Follow the energy through your body, noticing all the places that it makes contact with the floor or the mat. Feel your belly and your chest rising and falling with every breath. Anytime your mind wanders, just bring it back to your breath, and when you're ready, you can come out of your Shavasana and have a beautiful day. Namaste, Thunder Bay.